Hi, I'm Vaughn Palmer here at the BC Legislature with my colleague Rob Shaw. The House is not sitting, but we're still working. Rob, you and I, we had, the BC lost a watchdog this week, right?
Yeah,
Mary
that was
Ellen Turpel-Lafond.
One of the committee rooms was busy here this week. We were hearing the last public address from the outgoing children's watchdog, Mary Ellen Turpel-Lafond. Some confusion over when her term actually ends, what kind of interim replacement will be in. The fact that there's no full-time replacement yet to be decided by this all-party committee, Vaughn, it leaves a lot more questions as she's leaving than we might usually see.
Near as we can determine, and we talked to a couple of the New Democrats who are on these committees about this, Turpel-Lafond is actually still on the job. We still have a representative. The office is still open. There are 60 people in it. Her term is actually up at the end of November. And at that point, a committee of the legislature will meet and it will pick an acting representative. That'll take us through to February, at which point the legislature, by unanimous recommendation of both parties, will pick a permanent. So it's a bumpy transition, but I think the office will be in good hands until then. I think it also goes without saying that the Liberals will not miss Mary Ellen Turpel-Lafond.
No, and it's the open question now is, is this a chance, an opportunity for a reset on the children's file, that relationship between the watchdog's office and the government, or is this simply the departure of what may have been the best watchdog that the children's representative office could ever see? So people are waiting to see what changes with the new representative whenever they figure out who that might be.
We also had the Leader of the Opposition come out this week and say he's looking for some bold ideas. What's that all about?
Well, John Horgan put out an email to the party membership saying, if you could do one thing in government, what would it be, and tell me? And when I spoke to him about it, he said, well, look, I have observed from the U.S. election, from Bernie Sanders, from the federal election in Canada, Justin Trudeau, that the public wants big, bold ideas that solve problems that affect their ordinary life. And I think, Vaughn, it's a signal that we're going to see an NDP election platform that has huge ideas like $10 a day childcare, much less detail on how the party expects to pay for them. And it's a gamble that John Horgan says the electorate maybe doesn't really need to know exactly how they're going to pay for it, especially if they campaign on a deficit budget.
Yeah, I said that he's going for broke, and I don't think that's what the NDP is going to say, although the Liberals may say that. But yeah, the last three elections, so 05, 09, and 2013, the NDP platforms, they kind of tended to crowd right up against the Liberals. Fairly modest in terms of spending increases and tax increases and deficits. I think you're right. I think we're looking at something quite different. I think whatever you want to say, whether John Horgan is going all in on it or whatever, I think he is looking for something more dramatic. He's going to run the risk of providing something for the Liberals to shoot at as a platform. But I think also that it'll be healthy in this sense, Rob, that I think we're going to have a really genuinely dramatic contrast between the two parties next year. The thing we'll be looking for is he going to lay out how he's going to pay for all of it? Is it going to be a fully costed platform? We'll see.
It won't be like the last election where we're looking at comparative tax, credit programs between the Liberal and the NDP side. This is going to be a much different divide.
Like 1 point different on the corporate tax last time. Adrian Dix's $10 a day daycare plan had $30 million in the first year. Horgan's is $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is. And other than that, what else has been going on?
Well, on the other side of the ledger, on the Liberal side,
Christy Clark,
we had the Premier come out at the Vancouver Island conference this week and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we do a Vancouver Island specific platform for the election, a 10-year vision for the island, Vaughn? They don't hold many seats, two of 14 on the island. And their prospects don't look that great in the next election either. Yeah,
I would think they'll be fighting to keep at least one of those two seats, the one up on North Island at Comox. The Liberals have done some things on the island. They're building a couple of hospitals and that sort of thing. But really, the island is NDP territory, and it's hard not to have a chuckle that after 16 years in power, the Liberals have discovered Vancouver Island and are going to do something about it.
It's a tough nut to crack. I mean, the island was immune to the federal Trudeau mania that swept through the country. They still elected NDP MPs. It's a tough fight many of these ridings that they're going to try and go up. You haven't had a Liberal MLA for 20, 30 years, it's, if ever.
No Liberals in the capital at all, right? No one in the government caucus. Anyway.
It'll be interesting to see, and I think, you know, you can make an argument that it's long overdue for some ridings to be more competitive on the island, but I don't know if the 10-year plan is going to do that, but we will wait and see.
Yeah, and I live in the capital, and if you do something about the damn dare in the provincial capital, it's a festive. No, I'm just kidding. Folks, leave the dare alone. They're lovely animals. We'll be back next week to talk about something else.